All right, let's get after this. All right, so I'm looking at this downside real quick. I'm looking at this little bear flag. This has been one of the slowest days I've seen in a long time. So I'm looking at this 411.23 mark. It kind of seems like this is starting to form a little bit of a bear flag, so we could start to approach this low of the day level. There's not a ton of volume, so I wouldn't even be surprised if we started to get above this level again. So we're starting to see that over here on the 15-minute chart. Could be a nice little rebound area, but to me, it looks like we might have some downsides. So. Bar bigger. Oh no, definitely not interested. Okay, so I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the puts, the 41.20 puts, because it's pretty close to the money right now. It's a nice little downtrend over here on the SPX 30-minute chart. So I could see us get some consolidation, maybe up to this 41.30 mark. This usually shows me that if it's going to bounce twice, then there's some upside to come. Maybe this is the bottom. I doubt this is the bottom that it hammered in, but we'll see. We tried to break down once before. I feel like with this Bollinger Band expanding down a little bit, we'll have a little bit of an entry point here. I'm going to go in pretty nicely with like 5 contracts. Haven't been able to trade too much today. Had a lot of calls, but there has been a ton of chop. I'm still up 210 on the day, so trying to push that above $500, maybe to 1,000. See what happens here. It would be on this downside play most likely. I'm going to look to probably put around $1,500 on this trade, and then I'll most likely sell at this 400 plus level because these could run easily if it starts getting down to that low of the day mark. Already starting to hit down even more, but it is chopping, so I'm trying to get in at the good entry point, and I don't want to get stopped on just one of these random choppy green candles. So I'm going to see here to see if we can break out towards that 412. If not, looks like we're headed down to that low of the day, but this 411.50 is a pretty significant point. I'm not seeing the trend. What trend? What trend are you talking about? The trend of the market on what? Oh yeah, no. There's no trend, but it is downside. So I'm looking at this bear flag. And there she goes. She pushed right down. It's been a really, really weird moving market, I won't lie. So this is the low of the day. It just basically tapped. I'm literally not seeing anything, honestly. I was going to play that little downside there, but even that would have only made me about $40 a contract, so it probably wasn't even worth it. Would have been a nice little buy if I bought that little 280 area, but even there, not too much. Could be a double bottom here. Now it looks like it's trying to spike up a little bit, but I don't know if I believe that. I feel like this has some downside. There's no volume in the market whatsoever today. This could be that hammer for the reversal. That's what I always like to play, is once it's having this little chop fest for a while. Yeah. So I'm waiting for this little chop to end up. If this is the double bottom bounce, then you'll probably see that slow move upwards again today, but top was 413, bottom is 411, so it's really, there's not a big range today, but I do like this 30-minute trend, how it could retest this low of the day and head to this 4120, which is the low from Friday. Well, not the low, but one of the big candlesticks from Friday, so it could be a good opportunity on the put side. These obviously just ran up to 420. They're at 360. Earlier, they were 500 a piece. These could pay about 100, 150 a contract if we break below and hit that 411 mark. So I might dabble in. Probably not going to be, I might not play with 5 because I could get stopped pretty fast if I played with 5 contracts, but it's just showing a nice little hammer candle, so it could be the reversal off the double bottom. Might wait just a little bit longer. We'll see. I'm going to do a 330 entry here just in case. I'll put my stop real small, like 290. But this is a chop fest. But on the downside, there's not going to be a lot. You're not going to get stopped out like a ridiculous amount of money. You can be able to trade this very slowly. So I'm only scaling into 1 right now just to see if this does catch buyers, then we did double bottom and we're going to bounce. But to me, I feel like we're going to head right down to this 4120 level on the SPX, which is only $6, but could be about $150 per contract. If it'll come back down towards my 330 level, that would be cool. Not seeing a huge amount of volume. Obviously, Mondays are the worst days to trade, especially on a day like this with no volume. But if you look at the whole market, Meta is getting torched, Amazon on the downside, Nvidia as well. Everything is just getting hit hard. Same with Tesla, had a big top, just printed a nice shooting star candle, and we just faded all day after that. Ethereum and Bitcoin also kind of trending downwards. The market seems to follow that a lot. Lulu has been one of the strongest stocks in the market recently, and they're even seeing some weakness. So there probably isn't a ton to play today. I know Goldman Sachs has earnings coming up here. I think it's tomorrow, actually, unless it was already today. But I'm going to go ahead and go with it is tomorrow. So these bank stocks are pretty strong. Nice little bullish engulfing from 334 to 350, 340. There's a little bit of room if it can get above this to 341, but I don't think a $2 move is going to be that significant. But this is really bullish, so just pay attention to this guy. It's bounced off its trend line. It's staying up in that upward momentum for 340. Haven't been able to play too much today just yet. Looking for this downside, but it hasn't really been playing out as much. I'm looking for that 411 dip buy, so if it does break down, I will probably end up buying calls this 411 mark or this 4120, maybe a little bit below. But to me, there's not a ton of opportunities right now. I do have one limit order at 330. You can see this volume starting to come in here. That might be the bottom Bollinger Band reversal here. This candle is going to tell us everything. It looks like it might be. I just tried to scale out because I feel like it's going to run, but I am going to set my stop loss here at probably 3. If it squeezes up, I'll lose $30 on the trade and be up 180 on the day. But for some reason, this still looks really weak to me. Even though this volume came in, that might be the reversal candle. I would hate to see that. You can see that the TTM squeeze is starting to fade off. Yeah, I'm going to move this up to 310. Probably lose $20. It looks like this could be the reversal here. I don't want to play the double bottom bounce either because these are vicious. You can see the squeeze in no time. I just took the $20 loss real quick. I only had one contract. I am going to probably end up playing some call side here if we can get a little bit more momentum because now it's starting to confirm that it's heading the other way here. So I see this volume right here on this double bottom bounce. That means that buyers came in here. So now that it's reversing, if this can continue, it could probably get up towards this 412-ish again, 412.10. I'm assuming that this is going to be the reversal now at this point. The reason for that is this is a big spike on the 15-minute candlestick over here on SPY, also over here on the SPX. I feel like we could probably end up catching this reversal pretty nicely. So I am going to switch to the call side for a little bit here after that candlestick that I just saw. Took a nice little $20 loss, but that is A-okay. I think I'm still up 190 on the day. So just utilize these profits to make some more money. 4140s are pretty cheap. It's pretty tough to get to the high of the day, though. So I might end up doing 4135s, especially this chop. Be about 340 a piece here, so good play. Good play here. This candlestick is what I love to see. So this bounce with this volume here. So it makes me feel like we're going to see a nice little reversal here. Maybe I'm just watching dead water today. I mean, it did just kind of jump up $60 a piece, but I won't really chase this until I see some more volume come in here. But usually when you see these double bottom tests like this and volume candlestick comes in above that, that'll show you the significant reversal. So unless there's a massive red candle that pushes this right down, which is very possible because there's no volume, so sellers could take over in a second. The book is very thin today, so would love to see this downtrend retest around that 412, but even that 412 is only about 40 cents. So SPX isn't really going to pay you too much money today. I probably came on. Tesla had that nice reversal here. Let's go. Could probably get that 185 mark. This would be a nice one as well. Usually when you see some consolidation like this, but then you get that volume with the bigger bullish engulfing, that is when the bottom is hammered in. So could take some calls on that. I'm probably not, but this as well is also starting to push up too. So it looks like all the downtrends are being broken on all these individual stocks, which also carry the market. So could be a good opportunity to start scaling in for the upside on the S&P, but it's not really moving too much. I could see this pushing to 412, maybe 412.50, but it's going to take a while. Not too much action. Not a lot of fun action. I usually hate trading on Mondays, but I feel like I should go live at least a little bit on the day to at least give you some sort of insight on what I'm looking at, but I just don't see anything. I think the strongest sectors this week or today is going to be Goldman Sachs and Bank of America. So if you want to catch this upside, I feel like Bank of America and Goldman Sachs have a lot of opportunity to run up. We also have Netflix earnings tomorrow, I believe. Let me see how they're doing. They're doing terrible. But Tesla also has earnings, so, I mean, this looks pretty ugly. Just broke down everything, so I can't see this bouncing off anything other than this 326 or even this 321. So it's got some room down on that one as well. I don't really see too much. Whoa, ENPH is crushing it. Up $16 on the day. I wonder if they had news. I didn't see this, but daily chart kind of going crazy. I thought that this was going to be a nice stock to end up shorting at one point, but I'm going to stay away from end phase. That stock is a little crazy. If I look at this daily chart, it's trying to break down. It's consolidating a little bit, but I feel like tomorrow will be a real nice day for the upside. I love this candlestick. You see these lower shadows here shows me a lot of reversal, especially after all the weakness that we saw today. So it could be a good opportunity for that upside. I really don't want to play too much of this, but we did double bottom with volume. So it is starting to form a nice little descending triangle, though, so we could reject this level. Just bounce in, and then we'll start to see some volatility later on in the day. I feel like I'm probably just going to waste everybody's time talking about the slow chop, but this is what I'm seeing right now. I'm starting to see some descending triangles start to form, so we could bounce in between this, and once it gets tighter, which is probably about an hour away, maybe even 2 hours away, that we actually start to see some real movement around like 2 o'clock. So I think I might end up holding off on these trades for a little bit because there's not a ton of opportunities out here. I think that maybe you could catch some little quick scalps, but there's no real opportunity except for maybe Tesla going back to that 185. And even on those contracts, let's see. Starting to push up there already. Might have missed the most of it, but even a dollar move on 185. Yeah, these are so expensive because the premiums are so expensive. You could sell these, which would be a good opportunity too, but I know that requires about $18,000. Meta. Yeah, not loving a lot of these moves, so probably going to stay away for now. I feel like if you wanted to take the call side, it's probably best to get in around this 411.50 if it pulls back, but this looks like a pretty strong support level right here with this hammer candle, so I could end up getting in one of these, maybe try to make some money back real quick. It'd be a quick little scalp. Where are you at? I'm lagging again. This is why I switch accounts every time I go live, because if I played my larger account, I would get very pissed off because of the lag that it always creates. All right, so this is at 360 now. 360 at this level. I'm looking at, it's only moving about 10 cents. I think it does have room back up to this 412 level around here, but it's not going to pay that much. That's the only issue. It'd be a quick little scalp. You'd probably make like $30, $40 a contract. And I feel like a lot of people, when you're trading, I don't know if I'm going to take these trades. I'm not going to force anything. But I do want to tell you one thing, that if you're trading a bunch of stock, if you're trading a bunch of in and out contracts, in and out shares all the time, you are going to get, I don't want to say destroyed, but you're going to get silently hit by commissions, and it goes crazy. Like the SPX is about 65 cents per contract each way. So that on top of that, sometimes it charges you $1 too. So if you're trading, 100 times a day, you're going to lose about $100 in commissions. So be careful with getting in and out. That's why I try to take 1 to 3 to 5 trades every single day with some extra size, because if I'm just scalping in and out all day long, I'm going to get ramped up on commissions unless I'm getting really good entry fills. So, I mean, per every dollar, if I'm making like $50 or $60 a contract, it doesn't really matter too much. But on those times that you're wrong, you make $60 on one trade and then maybe you lose $50 on another trade, you're basically flat because, well, commissions add up to those losses as well. So you got to kind of factor that in when you're getting in. So don't overtrade. That's another reason that you should not be overtrading. And I feel like a lot of people don't ever talk about commission fees because they do add up pretty quickly if you're in and out all day long. Penny stocks. Ugh. Gross. I'm looking for this little reversal up here. I don't think that we're going to get it too much. I think that the volume is basically dead right now. I feel like most of the moves will come back around like 230-ish, which is probably when I'll have to take more of my trades. I'm only up $190 on the day, but there hasn't been too much opportunities. So I'll take the 190 for now, especially because I'm trading options and we've been slow as hell. I was up 400 at one point, but I ended up taking a call at this VWAP break and it completely rejected on me and I got stopped out. So I'm only up 190 right now, but still playing with only profits on the day, and we're going to try and ramp these up and have a nice little $5,000 to $10,000 week. So today might not be that day where I can get a jump start on that, but tomorrow definitely with the way that the daily chart is setting up. Wednesday usually jump starts the week, but I feel like this daily chart will start to spark some volatility because there's so much room down. There's like 408, we got 406, and we have this 415 level heading up to that 418. So there's a lot of movement getting ready, but I don't know what's about to happen here. I think we're just going to chop all day, and it's not really worth playing the SPX when it's only moving $60 at a time. So I think I might have to cash it. I thought that I was going to be able to call out a good move here, but the volatility did not pick up whatsoever. I've been loving to play around that 1230 to 130 range, but the volume isn't there for us today. We only have 25 million on the tape when an average is about 95 million on the day. So we're probably going to end up below that again, meaning that there's not a ton of movement. So pay attention to the SPX or SPY. Not a lot of movement there, but Netflix and Tesla have earnings coming up. So you might just start to see some movement there. Looks like some volumes coming in here on Tesla, but the Bollinger Bands are getting tight. Not looking at a lot of opportunities there. And obviously Goldman Sachs and the banks are starting to run because they have earnings coming up as well. So not looking to see too much more action, to be honest, today. I hate trading Mondays more than anything. I usually try to take them off, but there's a couple scalps in there somewhere. This could end up pushing up. Maybe I'll take a call real quick, but what was this at? 300. So like this little baby move only made $30 a contract. And if you have a stop loss, could easily stop you pretty quickly. So I don't know. I don't think this is worth it. I might take like 2 or 3 right here. 330. And then stop myself out at 300. It'd be about 90. I would only be up $100 on the day. I'm probably just going to cash it, to be honest. I'm not going to force a trade here. It could play out very, very well, especially off of this 30-minute chart. These 30-minute charts look really bullish. Looks like we're bottoming out a little bit. Oh, man. Maybe I do have to take this. I'm going to take 3 contracts at 330 here if it fills me. Maybe 320, just in case. This could very easily come back down towards this 411.25. This is a 30-minute chart, so it's not the best. But I'm looking at these 41.35 calls on the SPX. It'll be a quick scalp. I'm not looking for a lot of money, probably about $50 a contract potentially. Make 150 and call it a morning. It looks like it's starting to bullish, or like be some bullish engulfing here, reversing, retest this 411. Probably head up towards this 12 mark. And there she goes. It didn't fill me. It didn't fill me, but it went up to that 380 mark. So that would be about 40, 50. This is going to go up to 412 for sure. I'm looking at this 15-minute chart or 30-minute chart. Looks like it has that steam up there. And And if it can get above this 411.89, there's no problem that it's going to break out. This is a nice little resistance area right here. This is the downward. Oh man, just missed it. Just missed it. But it did. It didn't move a ton. It got down to 340, so it moved $60 a piece. But it looks like it could probably run up towards $100 a piece. And on 3 of those, that would have been a nice little $300. That would have been nice. Missed out on that break, but it definitely is starting to reverse, and I feel like this is a triple top here, double bottom. It could low-key be starting to set up a nice little inverse head and shoulders, so we haven't hit that yet. This could be the shoulder. That 411 could be the head right around here, and then we could probably see a nice little end-of-the-day breakout. So I might save some trades and some commission dollars for later on today. But that would have been a nice little scalp play. It would have been a nice little 50, 60 bucks a contract. And now I don't know if I want to play it because it looks like this could be a bear flag if it's not going to get above that 412. It's kind of rejecting itself right now. Oof. I'll go for 2 at 340 with a real small stop loss at like 310. So I'll lose 60 bucks on this. Actually, I don't like this setup. I don't think it has it in it to go up. It's too choppy for me. It's way too choppy. Even this little move up only would have paid 10 bucks a contract. Not a lot is going on right here. I'm going to do some boring shit real quick and switch to the put side. 4120s real quick. Looks like a reversal, but I'm looking at this 412 mark. I feel like this little pullback could be much more aggressive if it hits this 412. These calls are probably going to pay a little bit, which I missed out on them at 350. You saw it bounce on me, but now it's going to this 412 mark. It's always these big volume candlesticks that try to test their lows, and then you see a big bounce. And then if you have patience, it could be really nice. Because let me look at these calls real quick that I was just about to buy. I think they were the 35s, right? Yeah, now they're 430 a piece. I tried to get them at 250, so that would have been a nice little 200 bucks a contract already. It looks like a nice reversal, and it's always, if you look at the volume, volume is everything in the stock market. I know I missed it. I know I didn't play it. I was a little bit hesitant because of the way the market's been reacting, but this big volume spike off of this candlestick wick at the bottom of its Bollinger Band here, on top of a double bottom, there is a reversal. So it's the volume candle right there. So that's the 5. That's a 15-minute chart. But if you look at the 5-minute, I can show you real quick. This is this is a nice hammer candle. So if you see this try to break down and it has like a bear flag, that massive reversal point, at some point you're going to start to see some extra moves. So it hasn't touched the downtrend just yet, and it's a weird situation set up right now. But this 5-minute is what I was looking at, is this volume that came in on this little bounce. So the scalp play here would have been, you see the hammer candle, you play this next bounce. But as of right now, I don't really know which way this is going to go now, because it is bear flagging on the 30-minute and 15-minute. So you just got to have to like play around a little bit. 412 is what I was looking for a rejection level, and it did just hit just that. So we could see this low of the day test at some point. But when you see these volume spikes like this, it kind of signifies at least a short-term bottom. I don't think I trust the call side. We've just been in a slow chop to the downside. That's a good area, 412.09. Yeah, I really do like this area for a put. It would be a nice little scalp play. But the fact that it rejected this, if buyers eat this up, I don't know if I would take a put after that. Let's see if we get 41.25s. Yeah, I don't know that I like this. It's mostly from the 30-minute chart on this on the SPX. Like this looks like a higher low right here, another higher low. Could continue, but it is that bear flag situation that I'm paying attention to. We've already been rejected twice. I'm going to scale in a little bit. Hopefully it lets me in at 360. All right, there we go. 360 instantly dropped down to 390. That's kind of cool. Oh, no, it didn't. I'm only in on one, so it's just like stupid slow right now. I don't really like playing this. There is a lot of volume right here again with a rejection candle, so it could play out that this is a bear flag on the 30-minute on the SPY. I'd probably much rather look at the 15-minute chart, though. Oof, 15-minute doesn't really look good to me. Looks like this thing is trying to reverse its way, and it's all from this candlestick, always. I never try to play the downside when you see big candlesticks like this. It's a small candlestick, but there's a lot of volume come in. When you see a volume spike, that means buyers are trying to retake control, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen here. So unless it gets above this 412 or rejects this 412 again, then I'll probably have to stop myself out. Like I said, I'm really forcing trades here. This is for you guys to be entertained. So these are my dues. My dues are being paid right now. I don't know that I would take this trade, just watching, just to keep it somewhat engaging, but you can tell why I'm losing money now, and it's mostly because of this reversal trade. And I know that there's a couple wicks here. There's a little bit of a bear flag on the 15, so unless it rejects this downtrend, it is bullish now. And they'll probably take this up even higher for the rest of the day if it gets above that red line, which in my opinion, it's going to get above that this time because of this candlestick right here. And then it tried to break down again, did not. A couple buyers got sold off here, but they're just retaking it, and now it's back at this high. So we are currently entering into an uptrend, and I'm down about $70 on one contract. That's why I'm not buying too many, because it could easily go against me and start squeezing. But I might buy one more here just to average it down. No, I wouldn't go in calls. I wouldn't chase it all the way up here either. That's not good practice. I feel like if you're going to do anything on this downtrend, I would set a small stop loss. I would almost buy a put at this trend line and then set a small stop loss once it breaks above it, because you have a much better risk to reward ratio for it to break down and make money than you do on this just to squeeze out, because there's not enough volume to continue a squeeze after it's been being bought up for the last 30 minutes. So best practice here would be taking a put at these downtrend levels, setting a small stop loss in case it goes against you, and you make the most of money here. Because, I mean, it was just at 290, and now it's at 350 or 360, so that's $70 a contract. I'm flat, or I'm up $10, or $0 a contract right now. But if I were to average in there, I would have been up pretty decently. But if you start to see some more buyers come in after these 3 wicks down, they're most likely has control, and they're going to take it above this downtrend. So best practice, in my opinion, is every third test, you take the way that it's going. So if this was an uptrend and it tapped the uptrend again, I'd probably take calls on the uptrend, but I'm taking puts on this just for now. But yeah, I would never buy it if it just breaks it. Don't buy calls. I would take the rejection. The risk to reward ratio is literally everything for me. So we've been in this downtrend all day. If you didn't buy calls down here, definitely do not buy calls here because it could squeeze and you could make a quick little dollar, but in terms of trading the SPX, it does not make sense. Yeah, and at this point, it looks like they're going to just run this up. So a higher wick, a higher wick, a higher wick, and every time it tries to break down, the buyers step right in. So I think that this could still see a nice little reversal as you're looking over here on the 15-minute chart. Could be a nice bear flag down to 411.20, which would be a pretty nice payout, probably about $140 a contract from where I entered in. I'm only up $20 a contract or $10 a contract here, only $10 on the day, but I only have one. There's no point in me trading or taking this without momentum to the downside, so I don't want to just add into a losing position. But even $200 or $360 that I have entered in here could make me an easy 120. I'm only up 25 a contract. This could be a nice rejection level. So I hope you guys see that on this downtrend. It's always better to take the put side for the rejection than it is to take the call side. Unless there's a ton of volume shooting this through and the Bollinger Bands are expanding higher, that is when I would, all right, I'm going to take the breakout and then I would take some calls on a retest. So if this broke out here, I would probably, one, stop out of my put contract, but then I would probably take calls if it started breaking down and retesting this for the bounce higher. So they don't just go straight up. You got to play the right entry and exit points. But for me right now, I'm looking at this 15-minute chart. It looks like it rejected that 412 once again. If it comes back up and retests it, it's going to break out, and I would set my stop loss. But as of right now, I'm up about $35 on the contract. If this starts heading up higher to break out, then I'll have to get out of them. But for one, this is kind of just a shitty trade, in my opinion. I got in pretty bad, but I am up 12% on it, so I can't be that mad at myself. But I only have one for educational purposes. We're starting to break down now pretty nicely. I might stop myself out around 430 or maybe 420. I'll take my $60 profit and run if I can. It doesn't look like it wants me out, but I'm up 45, trying to sell at 60. Could be bouncing right here and then start to take me up, which would suck, which I think that's going to happen. And I might have to set my stop loss at a break even here. I'm going to set my stop loss at break even so I have absolutely no risk. I might move it up to 370, so if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. And then I'm going to turn this off because I'm literally watching paint dry. I'm up 35. It's trying to bounce. Usually when you see these green candles start to go, then it'll take it above this trend line. This is just a consolidation level, but I would love to see it break down a little bit more. You can see my stop loss is at 370, so I'll probably either be even or make $10 on the trade, but I'm trying to make a couple 80, maybe 60 or 70 or $80 a contract here. Only have one. It's choppy as shit, but education is there. This candlestick right here, if you see a breakout and then a nice little upper shadow wick, this could push down. So if I can get some more volume here, this could start to fall back towards this low of the day mark, which would be pretty nice. But this is kind of a scary zone. Most of the time, if I'm just scalping, I'm going to probably buy at this level and then sell the breakdown because this could easily reverse against me, which I'm probably going to get stopped out flat, which is never fun. This green candle, if it gets back above this 411.75, I am out. Stop me out 380 for some reason, but I'm up 210 on the day. That was a very boring ass trade. I only had one, so it obviously wasn't that much money, but I still feel like this could end up heading more to the downside. So maybe I'll actually put some size against this. I'm looking for some downside. I feel like it's bear flagging on the 15-minute chart. I'm just dabbling a little bit. I don't really have a grip on the market right now. I would say 41.20 is maybe a good opportunity. It's low of the day mark, but I am lagging, so it's hard for me to go in with confidence with size. I don't really know how I feel about this, to be honest. I feel like this is going to come back down towards this low of the day mark, at least towards this 411.40. Could be an easy $200 a contract if it breaks down to low of the day, which I'm seeing that it looks bearish over here on the 15-minute chart, but it is holding itself up well. So it could just be consolidating once again. Like I said, Mondays are the worst days to trade. I'm only up 210 on the day, which I'm not very excited about. I just don't want to risk profits when it's just like this. I want to have a sure trade. The sure trade would have been this rejection level here with a small stop, but I only had one, and I kind of had to fight against the trend. Yeah, I don't know how I feel. I think I might have to wait for it to retest this to either take puts or the breakout and then retest. I would take calls. But as of right now, we're just kind of just doing nothing. So doesn't look good to me. And even if it does break down on this 30-minute chart, there it goes. These dickheads. Now it's at 470. Meta have room. The only thing with Meta is if the market's pulling back. I don't think that Meta has much room to continue to the upside. But let me see. 221. It does look good. It really does. I'm telling you guys, the way that you will become a successful trader is you don't play this downside chop or the upside chop. You look for the reversal with volume. So you can start to see how much volume starts to come in here when it's near the bottom. That signifies a bottom. So if you have patience and you can afford a further out expiration or SPX, you have the grit to hold on to it, they usually do start reversing. And even though this is a 217 to 218 mark, you're still going to make a decent amount of money if you put some size behind it. But that's what I would play a lot more of the volume spikes at the bottom of these Bollinger Bands, and this 15-minute chart hammer candle, beautiful. And now it's breaking out. So always look for that volume at the bottom or top of a trend. Heck, I hate these penny stocks. Yeah, this does kind of look like it's going to break out from this downtrend now. There's too much, and it all starts with this candle right here. With this volume, double bottom, and I know it's chopping, but it's just like to show you that you don't need to be buying puts when you think that there's a nice little bounce. It's good to do that on these bounces right here because there is some volume and there is some potential to pull back, but it doesn't really ever really form two pullbacks at once unless this has a nice little spike down to 411. It forms an inverse head and shoulders and then goes. But to me, so far, it looks like it has potential to reverse, but we have not moved on the SPX more than $10 today. So that should show you that there is zero opportunities. At least to the upside. I mean, the downside, we could still see this 41.20, but that's still only $8 away. So when I'm trading the SPX, there's not a ton of opportunities here. Except for now, it looks like, because this just moved $100 to the downside. But they're all just fake outs. You know, that was a nice bullish engulfing, and now it's just getting engulfed to the downside. There's no opportunities. This is why I hate trading Mondays, but hopefully somebody caught this trade. I got in a little bit early. I only had one, but hopefully somebody had got that with size once they saw it called out. I'm only up 210 on the day. I really want to push this above 500. If I can start a Monday out up 500 or more, then it's going to be a great week. No volume, no volatility. I'd be A-okay with that. A 15-minute chart, though, in the SPY. Does look weak, but it keeps bouncing at this 411.50. This is a pretty strong level. But if you can tell, 411.25, 411.50, 411.75, these 25-cent increments are not going to pay literally anything, especially on a Monday because the contracts are going to be expensive. But Tesla is still kind of moving its way up. Meta, somebody asked about 220. Maybe. I doubt it. These Bollinger Bands are pretty crazy, but if the market can get above 412, then yes, I do think the Meta could probably reach back up to this 220 mark. Let me take a look at this daily chart. Yeah, I don't know. There's just not a good formation on this for me to tell you if it's going to have any opportunity to the other side or not. But I think that might be it for me, guys. It's not. There's nothing. There's no real opportunities yet. I'm up 210 right now. I might come back for power hour, try to push this above with some extra size. But right now, I'm not confident in anything more than 1 to 2 contracts. So the only thing that I would look out for right now is this 412 break for the upside squeeze. But this 15-minute chart, if it rejects this downtrend one more time, this is forming a descending triangle, and descending triangles could push this down to this 411 mark that I had before. So I could leave this here for you guys. Let's do this left. Let's do this right. And I think that's it. I'm going to make this green. So green candle would be where I would buy some calls around that 411. Maybe a little bit below, I would start to dabble in some calls for the reversal. This blue is low of the day. Red line test could be nice, and then obviously this VWAP level. So the chop is real. Let's go, baby. Good shit, Thomas. I'm gonna set these colors in real quick. Red line equals downtrend. Blue line equals low of the day. And green line equals support line / dip buy level. I think I'm going to leave this up for you guys. I don't think I'm going to play this just yet, but the put side could be really nice. These 41.25s are 360. And honestly, if it gets down towards that green line, these will be worth like 700 a piece. So too choppy for me. Way too choppy for me. I'm gonna go get some food real quick. I will leave these lines up for you guys to watch. But be careful on trading this. Don't trade the SPX in this chop unless you know exactly what you're doing. Entry points, small stop losses every time. These are only 340 a piece here. If it does spike up to this level real quick, I might end up taking a put 411.90-ish. I don't know if it has it in it though. It could end up squeezing above that 412. So if it breaks out, don't buy the breakout. Wait to buy when it retests this uptrend for some more upside. Maybe this 41.25. But these red Bollinger Bands, since they're pointing at each other, signifies chop for me. So there will be a big move at some point. I'm just not seeing it, and I'm not patient enough because I've been watching this since 9:30. So I'm gonna walk away, take my 210 for now, come back for power hour, and we'll get after it. But I will leave this up for you guys so you can take a peek at it. But if you have any questions, just hit me up.